Desk, America's News Now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jan Jeffcoat. It's Wednesday, January 22nd. We've got the latest on the storm in a moment. But first, we're tracking President Trump's big shakeup impacting all parts of the federal government. The Office of Personnel Management issued a memo that starting today, agencies have to follow his executive order to end diversity and equity practices. Mark Boyle at the live desk. And Mark, this means DEI offices will start to close and those employees put on leave. That starts today.
Starts in just a few hours, Jan. A live look right now. Several looks around D.C., the Capitol, the monument here to my left, as the Trump administration now cracking down on DEI initiatives. On Tuesday, Trump specifically called out the FAA, mandating they return to merit-based hiring. Today, as you mentioned, federal offices will begin that mandate to close their DEI offices and replace DEI staff on paid leave, put them on paid leave by 5 p.m. That's what's going to happen next. Agencies then must report on how they plan to eliminate DEI by noon tomorrow, including plans to reduce DEI staff by Friday. This move is fulfilling Trump's promise that he made during his inauguration speech to, quote, restore merit to government service.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
And here's what's next. Tonight, President Trump will have his first sit-down interview of his second term. It'll air at 9 o'clock on Fox News by Sean Hannity. That'll happen in the Oval Office. And then he is set, this was an announcement that was made late last night, that he's going to travel to North Carolina. And there he will meet with some of the residents still dealing with the devastating impacts of Hurricane Helene, then head out to California to Los Angeles to assess the damage there from the wildfires. Meanwhile, speaking of fires, some new ones just ignited in San Diego. We'll have an update on that, Jan, coming up in about 10 minutes here at the live desk.
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. The new head of the Federal Communications Commission announcing an end to DEI as he steps into his new role. Yesterday, FCC Chair Brendan Carr wrote, President Biden issued an executive order to end the government's promotion of DEI. As chairman of the FCC, I am ending the FCC's promotion of DEI and will focus our work on competently carrying out the FCC's statutory mission. New DHS officials fired the head of the Coast Guard, Admiral Linda Fagan, saying she failed to address border security threats while pushing diversity and equity ideology. The Department of Homeland Security in a statement wrote Fagan was, quote, terminated because of her leadership deficiencies, operational failures, and inability to advance the strategic objectives of the U.S. Coast Guard. It also stated her, quote, excessive focus on DEI policies, which they say diverted resources from mission initiatives and failed recruitment goals, as well as eroded trust over the mishandling and cover-up of a sexual assault investigation at the Coast Guard Academy. The Trump administration also reassigning more than a dozen career officials at the Justice Department, including one behind the FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago. At least 15 will remain with the DOJ for now, but in roles with much less influence. Trump wrote, my presidential personnel office is actively in the process of identifying and removing over 1,000 presidential appointees from the previous administration who are not aligned with our vision to make America great again. The portrait of General Mark Milley has already been removed from the Pentagon. Milley, widely condemned by President Trump and other GOP lawmakers for warning China about Trump's potential military decisions, and was pardoned by Joe Biden in his final day as president. And now U.S. embassies will only fly the American flag. The Trump State Department put in place a one flag policy barring outposts from flying anything other than the Stars and Stripes. The Biden White House let embassies fly rainbow flags and BLM flags. And now President Trump's nominee to lead the Department of Veterans Affairs says he will make sure the VA is focused on health care for veterans. In his confirmation hearing yesterday, veteran and former Georgia